It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM, and he is Mark Hilliard, the president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Joins us once a month to talk a little business climate around Indiana. Good morning.
Morning, Todd.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. And you're all settled in now at the Chamber of Commerce?
Every day getting more comfortable, yep.
That's good. That's good. So what are some of the business things we need to know about? We, of course, have events on your schedule coming up, and some of those events include things like chamber after-hours mixers and things of that nature. But then there are some other economic-type things that are on the schedule as well.
Well, the big thing we're working on right now is the Employment Expo coming on April the 4th at the KCAC. So right now we're actively looking for a lot of the vendors to take place. So if you have a need, and I know there's a lot of companies out there that have needs for employees and employees with particular skill sets, I would encourage you to contact PA CareerLink as soon as possible. They are starting to fill up pretty quickly. It's a great opportunity. Number one, if you want to speak to the future workforce in Indiana County, and I guess Indiana County and beyond, we're going to be having 800 plus high school students from 9th grade and above that are going to be attending that career fair in the morning. So it's a good opportunity to showcase, the kind of jobs that you may have available if you're an employer, the skill sets you're looking for, and basically encourage our area young people to be able to stay in the county, that there are a lot of opportunities out there, which there are. There are a ton of employment opportunities out there. And then in the afternoon, it's the traditional job fair. We are anticipating a pretty big crowd this year. So employers, if you're out there and you're looking for workforce help, I would encourage you to contact PA CareerLink, get involved with that Employment Expo on April the 4th at the KCAC. It should be a great event. I think it's going to be great for job seekers and and people looking to hire.
Yeah, and I would guess that with the way the job picture has picked up here in Indiana County and the surrounding region, they're going to have employers there that we haven't seen before.
There's quite a few, actually, and some that are coming into the area. So, we're anticipating a pretty big crowd and a lot of various types of employment, too. So it's not all in manufacturing. It's not all in healthcare. It's going to be all across the board because there is a big need out there, period, in Indiana County. It's a good opportunity to have, but it's a challenge that we have to try to overcome, and it doesn't happen in a year. So that's why we have the high school component this year, because we have to start planting those seeds and helping to prepare our young people to have some of those skills that are required. And oddly enough, some of the things that I'm working on as well, unrelated to the job fair, is a lot of the soft skills training too, because I've had a couple of employers tell me recently, I can bring somebody in, and if they have no prior experience in my field, but they are a motivated, highly motivated individual, I can train them. I can get them the skills that they may need. But if I have somebody come in who they may have some experience, but they have no motivation and they lack a lot of the soft skills, that's very difficult to train. So they would rather have the one with no experience, but with the right soft skills necessary. So that's one thing we want to try to work on with the high school students as well.
Yeah, the ability to show up at work is really big to the
Attendance.
employer.
Yeah. Attendance and just having that drive. And there are some people who will, they'll show up, but they don't give you a whole lot once they're there, and others who, you have to track them down almost every day, and they don't last too long. So it's odd, but that's the way that the world works sometimes.
With the announcement that Urban was coming last year and the ongoing construction now, and the company expected to be in operation later this summer, there was also the feeling at the time, and I have no reason to expect that it's not the feeling now, that there will be others who come along because Urban has come here, and so even more jobs could come into the area. And while I recognize that you obviously can't say right out loud that this company is considering or that company is considering, have there been those sorts of contacts?
Absolutely. There have been individuals who have reached out to folks within the county and vice versa. So, nobody, I think, involved in this is expecting Urban to be the last stop here and the last person or business to come into town. So there are ongoing discussions. Certainly we want to grow that entire area by Windy Ridge, and not just Windy Ridge, but the entire county. We have a lot of areas within the county that we want to grow and bring more businesses in. We want to bring more jobs in, hopefully more retail shops as well. And I think a lot of those things are coming. It's not just lip service. I think, in the next year, you're going to see some more movement on quite a few different areas. But, yeah, there are certainly some things on the horizon, and certainly ongoing discussions that might be related to urban, might not be related, as far as hopefully some companies that are going to bring jobs into the county. So we definitely want urban just to be the first step and not the last.
Well, 5 years ago we were talking about retailers coming into Indiana County and restaurants coming in, and that was great if you could get companies to come in. But if it's retailers only, then you've got just people trading their dollars at one store for dollars at another store, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Whereas with the manufacturing base, with this particular producer, well, those are jobs that pay money that should attract retailers in and restaurants and all of that. It should really build the region up.
Well, the other issue with that is we want to try to get people to come and move into the county, and because there is employment here, there's work here. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of great things that happen within the county, and it's a great place to live. So even as part of that expo, we want the the realtors to be a part of that as well, to kind of showcase what they have to offer, and that homes are very cost effective in our area, and it's a great place to, if you're looking for jobs and you have a job with urban, or you're looking for a job with urban in Indiana County, that you can move here. You don't have to commute every day from somewhere else, a different county outside of the area. So that's one of the things we want to do, is hopefully increase the population with these new jobs that are coming into the town, and there's a lot of different people who are involved with that and who are working towards that goal. So that's hopefully something that we can continue to do over the next couple of years.
Well, that's, we talk about the skills that are being developed in our area schools and trade schools and carpentry skills. Contractors are going to be looking for people for home building and home remodeling and those sorts of things, and restorations. Realtors are going to be looking for people. And if everything works out the way that it appears it's going to, and every domino has to fall in the right place.
That's right.
It should really be a fascinating thing. We're talking with Mark Hilliard, the president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. I did mention that there are events always on the schedule, mixers and those sorts of things. What do you got coming up?
Well, tomorrow morning we have a chamber chat. A chamber check-in that's over at our office. So we have a little Mardi Gras theme going on for tomorrow morning. It's going to be catered in, so some great food, but you can still RSVP for that. It's just a little roundtable discussion where people can go around the room, talk a little bit about their business, and meet a lot of different people from other businesses within the county. And then on Wednesday we have the Chamber Business After Hours at the Hilton Garden Inn. So when they did that last year, it was really well received. A lot of great food and drinks. It was a great event, and they had a good turnout, a great opportunity to network. So I would encourage people, if you're interested in either one of those two, the after hours begins at 5. The check-in begins at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so you can call the chamber office to RSVP. But both should be great events. If you're coming to network, there's usually we have a pretty good RSVP list already for both of those two events. So I would encourage you to contact us and get involved with that as well. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
We had a conversation last week with a couple of folks from Aaron talking about the RWAN for the new internet service providers for schools, and that has really become something that is getting closer and closer to the top of the list of priorities for county officials, and I know for you as the chamber president, for business officials, is getting this darn county wired, because the county isn't really wired for internet, is it?
Not all areas, no, and that continues to be an area of discussion, and I know there's a lot of different entities that are looking into it. REA Energy is the latest to, that was brought up at our board meeting last week, that, there are studies being done on ways to do it cost effectively. It all costs money, and even when you hear about grants that we've been getting and Senator White's office getting, $500,000, and that doesn't last too long. You'd think that sounds like a lot of money, and it is to you and me. But when it comes to actually getting our county wired and going into some of these really rural areas, it doesn't last quite as long as you'd want it to. And then it's around the country too. In the Midwest, it's a problem where there are miles and miles and miles of areas. So it's not just in Western Pennsylvania that it's a problem, or Indiana County. But it's sad when you think about it. There are some people who, honestly, when they're doing work and they have to drive a few miles to be able to send an email or send in an assignment in some cases, because they have it to do for school, so they can't do it on their at their home, so they have to actually travel and drive a few miles to be able to send a school assignment in, via email or something along those lines, and that can't happen. And we certainly want to improve upon that, but there's a lot of people that are looking into it. There are a lot of different organizations and entities that are trying to figure out a way to do it and where to get the money to do it. So it's an ongoing problem. We are attempting to solve it, but that's another one that unfortunately you can't just flick a switch and have us be wired everywhere. So
well, you never know. With the coming of urban, all the jobs, the prosperity to the area, it might just become a very number one top priority, and maybe somebody can.
I think there's going to be more money
answers
out there. Yeah, I think that the more this problem becomes apparent, and I think it's starting to become more visible statewide, that I think the money is going to be coming in. We're going to find more and more opportunities to be able to get grants and other opportunities to bring the money in to help fund that, but it's not a quick fix.
He is Mark Hilliard. He's the president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, spending some time with us today. You missing basketball? You missing coming out on the road with me?
I follow along. I don't, and with some of the trips that you've had to make recently, I don't miss those. But, I am following along as far as who's doing well with both the high school and IUP. I was bummed about the IUP women over the week. They just can't seem to get past Cal. But
it's a Cal deal.
But either way, I do. I do miss some of the excitement with the high school games. There was always something special about high school playoff basketball, but you've had some long trips so far.
Yeah, there's still more coming. Thank you, Mark, for coming in to visit with us. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.